My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, licensed presenters, the Core New Core, my patrons, and anyone interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor or student. Just two titles today. The first title is called Looking for More, and the second title is Core New Tension. And who is this broadcast for? It's for somebody looking for more. And then I'm trying to frame my audience in my mind as Gen Zers from 4 years old to 24 years old right now during 2019, but the youngest generation. It has a name, I think, or at least that's the age range that is youngest in order to try to make an impression that lasts the longest. And so when it comes to looking for more and having something to offer with your knowledge of Core New Tension and Michael Miller Pilates, I think the Gen Zers are looking for more because they don't know anything else, right? They're young and innocent and learning all the way through. Right? So early stages. So looking for more is more, I think, endemic than in a younger generation than mine. And yet another whole, when I try to project, there's another audience besides Gen Zers, and those would be those that have come to a place where they are looking for more, a different involvement or something more than what they already have. All of us, it's human nature on any subject, right? But looking for more. My comment says, at what point do you feel more is missing? Isn't that a good way to put it? At what point do you feel more is missing? So number 2 is Core New Tension, and you've heard me speak about that ad nauseum. But in helping a friend of mine understand what I was talking about when it came to Core New and Core New Tension, right? I realized I was making too much of an affiliation to the science that I think is out there in the perimeter of what I'm pointing to, but has no literal direct basis in. So Core New Tension is a shape. Core New Tension is the shape between any two axes in the body, and seeing them in oppositional rotation to one another, recognizing that they exist in that capacity to make that kind of engagement. So, of the two mountains of CT and MMP, you can recognize CT for the knowledge that is in it, which is just an identification, just based on my profession, that the body does this, that it makes oppositional rotation between axes from ears down to metatarsals. And then it's not arbitrary or whimsical, it's just pretty much how the biology accomplishes the physics. And yet, the only basis for that is me saying that, look how the body does this, how the body does this. And you can get from acknowledging that the body makes rotational dynamic at the hips, and that it is a grip in its nature, which means it's an involution of engagement. And having bought into at least recognizing that the core is a grip at the hips, that opens the way to seeing the rest of the rotational dynamics in the body and grasping how that works. Seeing that an unlocked knee and a pointed foot with a flexed toe, meaning an end point at the metatarsals, an end point at the metatarsals, in there, right? That there's a capacity in the body to make an end point of rotation at the metatarsals. If you want to point your toes, okay, but don't sacrifice the energy you get from the end point of tension, because the purpose in Pilates is not a pointed foot. It's not a dancer's foot. It's an end point of tension at the metatarsals to facilitate the uniform distribution of load throughout the body. You heard it here first. So, Cornu comes from Marie Alfred Cornu as a name because the equation that he came to by experiment, which was also arrived at through other means of experimentation by someone else, Euler, E-U-L-E-R, Euler. It's from that shape. So that shape is how the Michael Miller trademark got its name, Cornu. And Cornu tension is the definition of what happens when you engage in oppositional rotation between axes. And that's just my point of view. Just one way of looking at how the body engages itself to move through space. If you're interested in Pilates, why does that matter? Because in Joe's book, right after his definition, that contrology is complete coordination of body, mind, and spirit, next paragraph, beginning of the sentence, contrology develops the body uniformly. Now when you take that out to its ideal application of developing the body uniformly, the most ideal way to do it is the most real way to do it, because the real way is that the body is engaging in Cornu tension to move itself through space. December 4th, 2019. So, Cornu tension is a way to engage your muscles. It's a way to engage your muscles. It's a shape. that indicates a way to engage your muscles. And that comes from me saying, look, the core is a grip at the hips. So if you're not there yet in your willingness to look at the reality of the biology, then whatever world you wish to participate in is fine with me. Way of looking at it, that kind of thing. But in MMP, it's saying not only do we have rotation at the hips, but we have rotation along other axes in our body. And the end point of those axes it's called an end point. Same. And so at different endpoints, or at the different axes that those endpoints are on the end of, the body has a sophisticated ability to make tension or make rotation at different axes. And it's the interaction of those axes, lo and behold, is oppositional in nature, meaning that our strength is this way in the hips, and our strength is that way in the shoulders, and our strength is this way around our ears. Evolution, millions of years. It's the way the body engages itself to move through space. So know what you know. What this point of view be what do I want to say there? Be another point of view. Within you, having an understanding of core new tension is within you that you understand and you gain perspective from, right? The value in that, it gives you more control. So our target, control, because of contrology and trying to return to contrology. And as an instructor, when you also have within you an explanation of Pilates, gives you a reason for why you choose what to do next, or how you interpret what you're seeing, and based on what you see, where would you go next, or what would you do next, or right? The magic of teaching and the mystery of teaching Pilates. So enjoy it while you can, because life can't live forever. Read between the lines and see behind the curtain, and add two and two. Be a patron of mine, Patreon. And in becoming a patron of mine, learn how to become a creator and have patrons of your own. The whole purpose of this broadcast is to promote you being a presenter of knowledge that is both distinctive and valuable. Read between the lines. Connect the dots. Know how to add two and two. Don't ever be shamed or intimidated by what you lack in the realm of folklore, as though what you understand in theory is somehow inferior to the folklore. You might feel that way, but you don't have to. So, be Columbus and Aretha Franklin when you add two and two. Direct your thinking and Geist.